Would you just look at the size of that dinosaur? Great Jehoshaphat! That is one gargantuan lizard. Look at the size of it. Yes, we're back in Cabazon, California, the home of Diney, or Dinny, depending on who you ask, and Rex here, better known as the Pee-Wee Dinosaurs. These are the dinosaurs featured in the movie Pee-Wee's Big Adventure, among countless other documentaries and tourist photos and other things. Not to mention my Randomland video about these two giant roadside dinosaurs and their history. I have been coming out here and looking at these dinosaurs before road trips since basically the year 2000, the turn of the millennium. And for the first time that I can ever remember, the dinosaurs have a whole new paint scheme going on. Look, you got Rex is all green over there, and then Dinny or Diney is all brown now. It's pretty cool. I love seeing these prehistoric roadside relics getting the TLC that they so well deserve. These two will always have a special place in my heart. Like I said, I've seen them about a zillion times because when I was in a band, we'd always go out on tour on I-10 out to Arizona and start our travels around the country, and it would always start right here in Cabazon on the side of the road, visiting these dinosaurs, whether it was daytime or nighttime. This was a must stop. Now today, I myself am headed out to Arizona, but not to Phoenix, not to anywhere located along I-10 as a matter of fact. I'm headed back to old Route 66 again. But because there's crazy huge wildfires raging along I-15, which is the main corridor between Los Angeles and Las Vegas basically, and the way to get up to Route 66, there's these huge fires. The whole entire interstate is completely shut down. So since I had to detour anyways, I knew I had to make a stop at my old friends, the Pee-Wee Dinosaurs. Freaking awesome. I did a whole long video about the history of these two dinosaurs, but the long and the short of it is that there was this guy named Claude Bell who used to work for Walter Knott doing all Knott's Berry Farm. He would do those concrete statues of the miners and stuff like that, and he came out here and built these two massive dinosaurs and opened up a restaurant out here called the Wheel Inn. Get it? Like you wheel on in for a meal? It sounds more clever in my head. Claude Bell may be long gone now, but his dinosaurs still remain, owned by the Robotic Dinosaur and Creationist Museum back there under Rex. That museum's not really to everybody's liking in terms of what it's all about, but at least the Pee Wee Herman movie dinosaurs are preserved. I definitely wanted to check up on my old friends here. Was not expecting to see them with a whole new paint job. Look at Rex there, all green. Never seen that before. That's so cool. Now, if you guys have ever seen Pee-Wee's Big Adventure, you'll definitely recognize these dinosaurs. Pee-Wee sits up in the mouth of Rex with Simone, and they talk about things and watch the sunrise. Of course, that was a set on a soundstage, but they were theoretically inside of this dinosaur and looking at this dinosaur over here. And the restaurant that Simone worked in, that Pee-Wee walks into and says, "Large Marge sent me," was this restaurant right here, Claude Bell's The Wheel Inn. Besides just checking up on the dinosaurs, I actually wanted to check up on the Wheel Inn itself because my good friend and fellow Pee-Wee fan, and frankly, totally obsessed with the Wheel Inn guy, Adam the Woo, texted me a few days ago and said, "Dude, people are telling me that the Wheel Inn has been demolished." Well, the dinosaurs will be here, hopefully till the end of time, selling souvenirs to tourists, but the Wheel Inn itself has been closed for quite some time now, quite a few years. On Adam's channel, we actually went into the upstairs apartment portion of the Wheel Inn once and checked out the rooms upstairs after the building was abandoned. And we did actually go inside when it was still open for his Pee-Wee Herman's Pee-Wee's Big Adventure filming locations video that we did, oh, a few years ago now. I knew it was kind of derelict and some parts of the building were really falling apart, but I didn't know that they were gonna demolish it. Thankfully, now that I'm here in person, I see so far, so good. The Wheel Inn is not demolished. Whew. Not only were Pee-Wee's Big Adventure and I think The Wizard even was filmed in the dinosaurs over there, and Pee-Wee's Big Adventure filmed inside the Wheel Inn, but they also used this in that Tears for Fears video. I think Everyone Wants to Rule the World. I can't remember which phone booth, but I think one of the phone booths was used in the music video for that song. Everybody wants to rule the world. And I jumped back right there because there's some pretty gnarly spider webs. I don't want to tango with those. Check out this sign right here. Check out the sign. This is crazy. No hitching rides on premises. That's not just because they don't want a bunch of drifters hanging around outside the front door. That's also to protect you from Large Marge. So far, it seems like the building is mostly still intact inside, so that's pretty cool. Well, I'll be glad to report to my friend Adam that Large Marge's favorite diner is still here, albeit it's still for sale, so who knows what's in store for the Wheel Inn. Oh yeah, check it out. The inside, you can still see the counter where Pee-Wee was like, I forgot my wallet. Pretty cool. Hopefully the rumors about this place getting demolished are false, but if they're not, I am glad that I got to stop by and physically see the building one more time. All right, detour finished. Time to go back into the car and hit the road. Goodbye for now, Wheel Inn. Hopefully not goodbye forever. I hope. Today's road trip is actually to take me back out to Route 66 in Arizona for something I'm actually going to be doing tomorrow. So in between what we do today, that's all winging it. And by the way, this is my ride for the trip. This Hyundai accent. Hyundai in Korea #1. I was driving Allie home from Disneyland last night, and all of a sudden the traction control engaged on my Mustang. Silly car got all kinds of sassy with me, and so the traction control in the front wheel was like with the brakes. It only did it twice and then didn't do it again at all. And this is like on a straight road, out of nowhere for no reason. It didn't do it all anymore last night. Didn't do it at all this morning. I drove it around quite a bit, but I was still like, better safe than sorry when you're going out into the middle of the desert. It's over 100 degrees. It's just, I don't want to have to wait for a tow truck. So I got a rental for like 2 days, really cheap, and I'm stuck in a funny blue bubble. That's fine. At least it has plenty of air conditioning for my crazy detour to get back up on old highway 66. To get up there, I basically have to cross through the middle of the barren, nothing desert. So, what a fun one. Now, normally this road that I'm taking through the godforsaken desert of Southern California here is pretty barren and desolate, but that minimal amount of traffic that you're seeing here is pretty much all people that have to go around that major interstate closure on the 15 freeway because of the fire. So there's actually quite a few people out here in the desert today. It's feeling friendly. See? Loads and loads of people. There they are. One. I think there's some more down there coming. It's a party. What always surprises me about the desert is not how much nothing there is, it's how much stuff is peppered into the nothing. If you were to look at a map, the road that I'm on goes pretty much straight north out of 29 Palms, out across the middle of nowhere on its way back to Interstate 40. But it's wild the amount of like weird shacks and cabins and little houses and homesteads are out here, both abandoned and currently occupied. Pretty wild stuff out here. And what desert would be complete without a tire graveyard or its own graffiti rocks? There's not a rock in creation that man wouldn't desecrate with a spray paint can if he could. Oh, the desert where art is born and glass comes to die. Huh, well, time to be getting back out on that dusty road, because this next destination is a little further out in the middle of nowhere. Luckily, you guys just instantaneously get there and don't see the hour of driving in between. But check this out. Feast your eyes, those creepy little peepers on this. It took forever, but we're back on Route 66. The detour of a lifetime has led us to this beautiful, amazing, very tiny, very ghost town-like spot, the mid-century postcard of Amboy, California. This is a place I've known about for like as long as I've been doing things and interested in doing things, but I've never actually been here in the flesh. Long before the interstate, which is miles and miles and miles away, came through the California desert, this town was a stop on the old Route 66. And by far the most popular part of town back in the Route 66 days and today was Roy's Motel and cafe. Look at those little cottages in front there. You can see there's a more modern hotel, not a modern hotel, a more modern hotel behind them. But look at those little cottages there at Roy's. These opened up, I think, in 1938, which that alone would make Amboy phenomenal if it just had these little white cottages here left over from Roy's. But then they built the way more 1950s mid-century looking cafe at Roy's and pretty much cemented this place in California desert and Route 66 postcard history forever. I've always been fascinated by this place, but never able to come here in person. And then when I was able to come here in person, it's so far out of the way of everything else, I've just never managed to do it. But finally, I'm here. Look how freaking epic this place is. This is an amazing Route 66 ghost town. Okay, technically not quite a ghost town because there is still a post office here in Amboy. Look at how small and cute the post office is. There's a couple of small houses left over from the boom days of Amboy, and a few chemical companies have some operations out here. I think there's actually a water research area out here. I have no idea what that means. But for the most part, there's pretty much just the post office and across the street, Roy's, which by the way, is no longer a functional hotel, but the gas station is back in operation. You guys remember a couple of videos ago when we were out at the Wigwam Motel, and then right before that we were out at the world's first, the original site of the very world's first ever McDonald's? Well, the same guy that bought that old McDonald's building, the same guy that put a McDonald's museum in there, Mr. Albert Okura of Juan Pollo Chicken, purchased the town of Amboy to save it. Actually, I'm not sure how much of the town proper that Mr. Okura purchased, but he did purchase Roy's. And if you own Roy's in Amboy, you pretty much own the town, because, you see, there's not that much else here. In addition to sprucing up Roy's little cabins there and the cafe building, look how awesome that is. For the ultimate Route 66 California desert photo op, Mr. Okura and company were able to reopen the gas station over here in Amboy, making this basically still the only game in town. And believe me, I just drove in here the long way from 29 Palms. It's the only game for a lot farther than just this town. Definitely a great place to stop and get a fun pic. There was just literally a busload of German tourists out here on the road with the 66 stencils getting ultimate fun pics, jawohl, which just goes to show you, fun pics are universal. Man, this place is tiny. It would be hard to overstate how underwhelming the town itself of Amboy is. You know what's crazy is I just met a lady in the cafe named Debbie who pumped my gas for me, who also runs the post office. So it's one of those towns. Kind of reminds me of I Love Lucy. Remember when they were coming out to California and they stopped in that town where the guy was the sheriff and he was the judge and he was the gas station guy and the hotel manager and he was everything? Fun pic. It's kind of like that. Now, it cost a heck of a lot of money. They sold a heck of a lot of chickens at Juan Pollo Chicken to restore the town as far as it's been restored so far. And it's probably gonna take a heck of a lot more money. So if you ever see a Juan Pollo Chicken in your area, definitely stop in and get some. Or at least get a soda like I do, because I don't know if their food's gluten-free. So you can support things like this. Businessmen who take their hard-earned profits and spend it on preserving all of our history deserve to be applauded. This is one really cool place, guys. We're nowhere near Arizona. I still got a lot farther to drive, so I'm not gonna linger here too terribly long. I didn't do all the research on the history of, you know, the place beforehand and all that, just going off what I know from the top of my head. So this is so awesome coming here for the first time. Always wanted to see this super famous tilted mid-century Googie style modern architecture roof. Awesome. Man, the hotel might not be in operation currently, but it looks like they've spruced it up way more than I even thought they did. Check out the way they've decked out the lobby in there. That is so cool looking. Maybe that's what it was like when you'd come to stay here back in the 60s. Vintage magazines in there, and check out that reception desk. That is awesome. That right there is desk goals. I believe this place was featured in the movie The Hitcher, although I've never seen it, so I don't know how extensively it was in the movie. Maybe a couple of others, definitely some commercials, thousands of Route 66 books and postcards and photographs for sure. But for the most part, you're looking at an abandoned building that's propped up pretty much basically just by the TLC of people who are dedicated to preserving a little piece of California roadside history. Wherever you are, Mr. Okura, thank you. Also, just in case anyone important's listening, I would love to spend the night here. And I am not kidding. Something really eerie and weird about how silent the desert is. Just how cool it is when there's something out here that's just been left alone. A couple of old vintage cars here in front of the more modern portion of the hotel, is what I'm guessing that is right there. Some playground equipment for the old Amboy school over there. And the little cabins of Roy. I gotta tell you right now, it's about 1,000,000 degrees out here in Amboy. So I won't be hiking to it, but way over there, you see under the roof of the gas station out there, that right there is the crater of a volcano. The Amboy crater, and I'm pretty sure this right here is an example of the lava rock from said crater. That's another place that I've always wanted to go and hike out to, but I'm gonna save that for cooler weather because it's it's a little warm out here. Oh snap, look at this. The cabins are actually open. Oh, this is some sort of art thing or something going on in here. Spread out all over town are different kinds of things that are part of this. I don't even know what to call it. Is it an art installation or, oh, the nails of democracy. Whoa, those are some big nails. So that's what's holding this country together. Well, with the election and everything, I was kind of wondering. Oh yeah, some kind of water-based art project. Here are the artists. I don't understand it. I don't have time to try to understand it, so I'm not going to try today. I'm just gonna enjoy looking in these cabins. Each one appears to contain some different thing. I don't know what they are. Oh, this used to contain some sort of rain book, which apparently has been stolen. I don't understand, but look at this. You can see the inside of one of the old Amboy cabins here. This is where the bed would have been, I'm guessing. There's your closet. Over here, your restroom. Dang, look at these old school electrical outlets here inside this place. Look at these windows. I used to have windows like this at my old apartment. Yeah. Those do not provide as much insulation as you would wish they would. Look at that old heater right there. Then in here, the bathroom, which I'm a little weirded out just because I don't like the idea of stumbling across bees. Look at the sink there. That's quite an SOS pad. Look at that aged toilet. Oh, thought I heard a bee. Hopefully not. And look at this. Bates Motel style shower. Perfectly preserved. At the moment, there's about half a dozen people outside. Oh, I don't know, 50 yards away from me or so, but just this scenery and the silence in here, I gotta admit, it's a little bit creepy. Amboy was actually first surveyed, I believe, by Louis Kingman, the same guy that founded Kingman, Arizona, which is where I'm on my way to at the moment. And according to one of the signs back there, people have been living in the area since the 1850s, and I think they said Amboy was settled in the 1880s. Oh, you can see all these cabins, pretty much the same. Weird. Hashtag art. It's a trip because today has way more traffic than normal, I'm told, because of the fire closures and all that kind of stuff. But there's still really nobody coming by out here. And every time I step outside and take in the panorama of what's around here, I just think, yikes. People lived here and just stared out at that every day. This one says, there is no water on the moon. An installation by Katharina Hoffman. Oof. Weird. Ooh, forget the moon. There's no water in Amboy either. Ooh, cover your eyes. There's a potty word right there. Oh, this right here says the Mojave Desert is a place that's pretty much exactly like the moon. So much like the moon that NASA has done a lot of their moon simulations and testing out here in the nearby desert, which makes sense, because boy, is it ever dry out here. Wow. I'm starting to get kind of thirsty there, guys. Oh, a train was saved. Please take me. Oh, he's going the wrong way. We're going the other way. We're going the other way. Whew. Well, this looks promising here. Visitor center. I wonder if the condition for doing this art installation here was to paint and kind of restore up these buildings. It's pretty cool, man. I wonder if volunteers could ever come out here and do a little wrenching out in Amboy, because this place is awesome. Pretty bizarre. I wonder what this model is. This must be a model of the town of Amboy. It looks like it's been used rather poorly by visitors. Shame. Please forgive the crudity of this model. We didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. That looks like that would be the post office. Here's Roy's over here. This is the old Amboy school, and this is what destroyed the town. The Great Coke Spill of 1972. It stained everything. Amboy was one of many towns bypassed by the new interstate freeway, leaving this part of old Route 66 pretty much desolate and bare of any travelers at all. Because after all, who wants to come down a 2-lane road like this in the desert, in the middle of nowhere, when you got a 4-lane interstate to travel on, huh? I mean, I do, and you do. But would you do if you didn't have to do? Anyway, the bypass in, I think, 72, sometime in the 70s, killed the town of Amboy pretty effectively. So now, way over there in that little church, no more church. And over here, something else that's really sad. Beyond all those abandoned houses and stuff, sit the remains of the Amboy School. Isn't this sad? No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks. Wait a minute, this means school's out for summer. School's out forever. That's not sad, that's awesome rock and roll. Well, that's pretty cool. I did not expect to be visiting the town of Amboy today, and I'd really like to come back when I'm more prepared and I have some old photographs and some more history on hand, especially about the town, aside from just Roy's over here, but this was cool. And now, it's time for me to hit the little blue car so that I can hit the highway back to the interstate and out to Arizona. Oh geez Louise, give me the juice, give me the juice. Whew. Because at this time, I'd like to remind you guys, if you like my videos, you can donate $1 per month on Patreon, patreon.com/justinScott, or get a snazzy hat, the R stands for adventure, or t-shirt at livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com. Hey, don't hate, guys. That's how we keep the show on the road. Literally.
Oh, I got so much sweat on my upper lip. Sweat on my upper lip. Sweat on my upper... Oh.
Salty. Okay, time to hit the interstate. I gotta tell you, leaving Amboy and heading east on old Route 66, it's a pretty intimidating desert to be out here like in an old 50s car or 30s car or 20s car. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty thankful I'm in a Hyundai and not a Model T. Although I do wish I had my Ford Mustang, but still. I'll take the Korean car for now. Haha! Oh man, we did it! The interstate! I-40. Don't she just look beautiful? And wide and smooth. Well, I hope you had fun. Thank you for joining me on this little detour on the way to someplace pretty cool. I will see you guys a little later. Make sure to subscribe for some more video adventures. Check out those links I told you about before. I got Instagram, LiveFastDiePoor, and Snapchat, LiveFastDiePoor, Justin Scott on Twitter, etc., etc., etc. Down below in the description. I will see you all later. Goodbye!
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Doing stuff out on the road again. With all my friends, I'm on the road again. Yeah, I've been to Reno, Barstow, somewhere, everywhere. 2 towns, 3 towns, 4 towns, going there. Route 66, on Route 66. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Wow! Rock and roll, Pam! We need rock and roll!
I mean, I do, and you do. But would you do if you didn't have to do? Huh?